This is your sports TV station in Lorain, WLCS TV 20.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lorain High School. It's freshman basketball, LEL style. The Lorain Titan freshmen, 15-1 on the year, host the team that gave them that one. Warrensville Heights comes in 11-3, including a victory over these Titans. Jay Ferguson, Rob Polinsky, and Joe Bach here as we are set to tip. Savon Chavis, number 2, jumps center for Lorain, controlled by Cornell Gideon of Warrensville. Brandon Jones, number 3, and number 15 is Anthony Little. Takeaway by the Titans, that's Aaron Whitehead ahead to Dalen Dower, who had one more step than he was allowed on the layup, at least. For Lorain, 2 is Chavis, 11 is Dower, 0 Aaron Whitehead. Number 24 is Ron Johnson, and number 20, David Leeper. Titans in a 2-3 zone right now against Warrensville. I think it's got him a little bit surprised. This is Anthony Little, 15, against Whitehead. Near side 3 is Jones, back to Little, back to Jones, on the line, throws 3. Good.
Well, that's a good-looking three-point field goal by Brandon Jones.
And that's exactly what you want to do against the zone, is hit an outside shot. 3-0 Warrensville. Savon Chavis, David Leeper. Warrensville looks to be settling into a zone of their own. Leeper cuts, baseline cut, Dower, no foul.
Boy, Jay, I liked about that was that extra pass, and they gave up a good shot for a better shot, and good ball movement by the freshman.
Dalen Dower will go to the line to shoot the pair. Dalen also seeing time at the JV level. And in fact, against Cleveland Heights, he even dressed for the varsity game. First shot up and perfect. This is a special kind of freshman athlete right here, Rob. You know, started 13 varsity football games as a freshman, and 7 of them with a cast on his hand.
Wow.
So he's going to be something. Splits the pair, rebound off to Warrensville. 21, Trezell McQueen, and up comes Little. Into the passing lane is Johnson. Ron Johnson to the hole, lays it up and in. Johnson with 2, and we're tied at 3. I think the Titans have them a little bit shocked about the zone.
That could be, like you say, probably don't see it very often.
Nice penetration, but a block by Chavis ahead to Whitehead. Whitehead ahead of the pack, unable to finish. Rebound to McQueen.
And even though they missed that layup, what I like is the defense leads to offense for Lorain.
But once again, the penetration, and this is de jure Duckworth with 2.
Got to get back. Sometimes in that zone, you kind of lose people once in a while.
Warrensville with great size for a freshman team. Nice pass inside the Leeper, and he's fouled by Duckworth.
That's a couple times early on that Leeper has been able to move without the ball, Jay, and I think that's a good skill that not every kid knows how to do. There's a couple times we've seen Leeper, find a way to get open and learn how to move without the ball.
He's another excellent football player. And you just look at him and he's got football player written all over.
Sure.
First shot, no. 5:07 to go, first quarter. The Tigers of Warrensville lead 5-3. Splits the pair, and 5-4. Anthony Little with the ball now for Warrensville. Gets it over to McQueen. Spins and loses it in the lane. Aaron Whitehead ahead to Ron Johnson. Ron lays it up off the bottom of the board. Couldn't control the pass. And we've got a leaker down deep. Duckworth lost it.
I don't think Johnson realized how far underneath the basket he was when he was able to, get the basketball, Jay.
Good break for the Titans as the pass was too hot. The handle going the other way. And Whitehead will walk it up. Near side Dower, down low Chavis. Chavis too far under the rim. Nice rebound and throws it off of McQueen and out of bounds.
Both teams playing zone defenses to start this basketball game.
Not something you're accustomed to seeing in an LEL game. Dalen Dower whacked in the act. And Duckworth has got his second.
I would imagine that Duckworth will have to come out of the basketball game with 4:36 to go in the first quarter and those 2 fouls.
Somebody at the table, Elijah Gordon, number 12. Dower split a pair the last time. Nice stroke there. Knocks the first one down, and we're tied. Duckworth to the bench, and Elijah Gordon, number 12, into the ball game.
Titans early on, Jay, getting to the free throw line quite a bit.
Yeah, this is 6 already in a couple minutes. Chavis got a hand on it, knocked it off. Ooh. Going to go off Lorain and out of bounds to Warrensville. Gordon will bring it up. So Warrensville loses a little size as they have to go to the bench. Near side is Jones. Jones dribbles back to Gordon. Blocked underneath. 23 Howard Crum gets it sent back by Chavis. Out of bounds to Warrensville.
And the good thing there by Savon Chavis is sometimes when you block it, you also pick up the foul. Chavis knew what to do with his body, so he doesn't get the foul.
This is Crum. Ron Johnson with the steal. Crosses the rim, lays it up and in.
Boy, that's already, 4 or 5 steals by Lorain defensively, doing a real good job getting into passing lanes.
Johnson's second layup in transition. Gordon. Off to Jones, and back to Gordon. It's Warrensville looks very confused offensively, which is kind of ironic because they're running the same defense. There's a little dribble and a drive, offensive rebound to the ground, and Dower picks it up. Ahead to Whitehead. Back to Dower. Nice give and go. Dalen Dower with 4.
Well, and it's obvious when Lorain gets the ball in transition, they want to go. They don't want to let Warrensville get back and have to set up their offense. They want to go, and they are scoring a lot in transition.
And that was a true point guard play there by Aaron Whitehead, just giving it up and finding the open man. Jump hook, no. Dower, Whitehead again. He's got Johnson to his right. He's going to take it the whole way and score.
Another example of that, Jay. I don't know if they've made a basket from a set offense yet.
I don't think they have because every time they've gotten fouled.
Right.
This team was down 31-11 to Warrensville the first time they played. Whistle, timeout, Warrensville with 2:50 to go in the first quarter. It's a full timeout, and with that, we're going to step away for a moment. We'll be back with more after this timeout.
Hi, my name is Brandon Tolliver. I'm 16 years old and I am in the 10th grade at Lorain High School. I am a robotics student in Lorain High's Career Technical Education program. Robotics is part programming and part hands-on building. This program taught me how to use a very specific skill set. You get to use a power saw, drill bits, and a CNC machine. You get to use and do stuff that you can't do or use at home. After I started the program, I knew I made the right decision. I really like working with my hands. I like to see myself as an inventor. We program quite a bit of code. Programming codes is basically creating memory thoughts for a robot. You can make your robot do all kinds of things like fold clothes, walk, or even throw frisbees. I learned all of this in Mr. Bogan's class. There are teachers who just read. Then there are teachers who go out of their way to make learning fun. After my truly great experience in the robotics program, I now know what I want to do in my life, and I'm doing it thanks to Lorain High's Robotics Career Tech program.
Back at Lorain High, the Lorain Freshmen lead Warrensville 11-5. Looking for some revenge as Warrensville has the only blemish on the Titan record. This is Anthony Little, 15, back up top to Gordon. Little goes baseline around Leeper. Leeper got a hand on it, thrown back out to Jones. Jones in the corner, gets it down low, and then back up top. They working the dead spot, or the short corner rather effectively. Foul on the rebound. I think it's going to be 23 Howard Crum.
I like the aggressiveness of the Lorain defense, Jay. They don't make passing easy. They get in the passing lanes. They keep their hands up. They're making it difficult for Warrensville to get into their offense.
This is DeJour Jackson, or Duckworth rather, back in with his 2 fouls.
Well, that's a surprise.
Well, he went to the bench, and they haven't been able to get much offensively since he did. Johnson, corner Chavis, looking for Leeper in the middle of the zone. Now back to Johnson. Johnson penetrates. Tried to go to Savon Chavis. Ball on the ground. Leeper gets it. Whitehead going to throw three. Rim, no. Chavis with a tip, no. Save on Chavis, no. Outlet to Warrensville, and this is Anthony Little. Rim and no. Cleaned up, though, by DeJure Duckworth. 11-7. Titans quickly back. Leaper has it sent away and picked up by Gordon. Whistle. Dower's going to get called for the foul in the open court.
Last couple possessions, a little surprised that Lorain didn't get a foul call against Warrensville when they were down there in the paint trying to take a couple of shots there. We've seen fouls called with a lot less contact.
Yes. Lorain goes to the bench for the first time. Number 3 is James Davis. Knocked away. Dower comes down with it. Dower brings it ahead between men. Passes into the middle. That's Davis. Up and in. James Davis from Dalen Dower, and it's 13-7.
Tell you what, Lorain really doing a good job of what they want to do here in the first quarter.
Out of control there. Leaper controls the rebound. Up ahead to Davis. You can see the Titans don't want to run an offense.
Nope.
Dower. Leaper. Leaper for long distance. Rebound. Chavis pulled it away and had it blocked. Duckworth comes out with it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty early in that possession for that shot.
Whistle on the drive.
To me, I always think you can get a shot like that at any time. You know, go inside and then kick it back out.
That's Clarence Thomas, number 23, who also snuck in at the horn, picking up the foul. Howard Crum, number 23, at the line for 2 throws. 57.2 seconds to go. First quarter, first shot up, no. Substitution for the Titans, number 42, Joe Vaughn into the lineup. Giving Savon Chavis a blow. You know, you look at Savon Chavis, and he just does not look like a normal freshman.
No. Yeah, you would think he's at least a sophomore, maybe even a junior, just the way he looks.
Crum left hands the second one in, and it's 13-8. We're under a minute in the first quarter. Dower has it. Whistles it under to Thomas. In the corner, Leaper. Back up top, Davis. And he tosses it to a friend in the stands.
Boy, there's an unforced error for Lorain. They could have taken that possession the rest of the first quarter with Warrensville sitting in a zone, but unfortunately they throw the ball away.
A little too excited there as there was no place to go. Now Warrensville will dribble against the Titans zone. This is Cornell Gideon, and he traveled with the basketball when Davis put the heat on. So with 32.5 seconds to go, Titans will get to try it again. Vaughn inbounds to Dower. Dower will walk it ahead. Zone up high now, waiting for him. They'll look to trap. He'll step through, get it off to Davis. This is Leaper in the corner. Again, maybe a forced shot, and Gideon has the board for Warrensville.
Yeah, know the time.
3 ball there, no. Leaper with the board, less than 10. He gets it to Davis and ahead to Dower. Dower crosses in the lane, throws up a wild shot. No bail out there with a whistle, and we'll end the first quarter there. We've played one at Lorain. The Freshmen Titans 13 and Warrensville 8. Back with more after this.
One of my biggest passions in life is animals. That's why I've worked with Morris Animal Foundation for over 40 years. Morris Animal Foundation is a world leader in helping animals live longer, healthier lives. You can too. Just show your support at morrisanimalfoundation.org.
To help cats, dogs, horses, and wildlife live healthier lives, visit morrisanimalfoundation.org, where we are advancing science that will create a healthier tomorrow for animals.
Have you ever bought a car and then realized you couldn't afford it? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different. Don't be insane. At Credit Max Auto, you can get a really great car with a payment you can't afford. Visit us at creditmaxauto.com.
Second quarter about to start. Titans will put it in play. 0 is Aaron Whitehead with the ball. Savon Chavis 2. Number 12 is Zion Capers. Inside, number 5, Caesar Jeter. That's Whitehead. Tried to get it to Jeter, got it back, and 24, Ron Johnson. had it knocked away and taken away by Gideon for the Tigers. And he throws it past everyone into the bleachers, touched by a Titan, however, and will stay down here. 13-8 is the score after one.
I don't think either coach real happy with their teams the last minute or two.
This is game number 15, 16, and a pretty ragged stretch there. Back in the corner, and this is Gideon to the hoop, taken away. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Titans. A lot of contact right there again.
And I thought that time Gideon was maybe a little too unselfish, and you know, he could have taken that shot. You don't want to be critical of a kid that's passing the ball, but I thought right there Gideon should have shot.
Titans moving the ball against the zone. Lost out of bounds. It'll stay with Lorain off of Gordon. You get some different mixes of players in here at the freshman level where you're trying to get everybody involved, and that zone has really worked its way ahead for Warrensville, where the back men are matching up at the foul line. Chavis is free on the baseline, but they can't get him the ball. That's him in the corner. Whitehead for three, short. Chavis with the rebound, brings it out. Kind of lost it and threw it to Gordon. Gordon ahead with Whitehead. Shoveled back, but taken by Johnson. Johnson all the way to the hole, passes to Savon Chavis, who gets whacked.
Sometimes the freshman team reminds me of the varsity only in this respect that they're not bashful to shoot because they know they can go get offensive rebounds. You just throw it at the basket and go get it.
That's the third foul on Duckworth. And Chavis will go to the line for two. He makes the first. Duckworth was out with two, came back in, picked up a third, so I would imagine he'll sit the half. Dalen Blair, 22 into the ball game. 14-8. Titans again split a pair of free throws for the fourth time, and Warrensville comes back. Into the corner, Blair throws three. No, rebound to the Titans and ahead to Whitehead. Aaron Whitehead's going to bring it to Johnson. Skip past Chavis. Chavis going to try three. Chavis got three. Savon Chavis with four now, and it's 17-8.
See if Lorain can take advantage with Duckworth on the bench, if they can lengthen this lead before halftime.
Absolutely. In the corner. No, rebound Johnson. That was Gideon. Johnson behind the back brings it to the middle. Penetration. Whoa! Wow. Caesar Jeter with the acrobatic move. Used the rim to protect. 19-8. Up and in 12. Elijah Gordon goes the length of the court. First points of the quarter for Warrensville.
And Warrensville Heights really needed that basket.
Yes, they
right
did.
There.
Whitehead, down low Chavis. Miscommunication there, but stepping on the line for Warrensville is Elijah Gordon, so it'll stay with Lorain.
You've mentioned it a couple times, Jay, that Chavis has been able to roam that baseline free because of the way that Warrensville runs their zone defense, and you'd think that they're going to have to find Chavis behind them.
Yep. David Leeper, number 20, and number 11, Dalen Dower back in. Officials trying to calm things down. Titans will inbound it on the near side. Foul line extended. Dalen Dower, number 11, gets it into Whitehead, and they'll attack the zone. Whitehead fouled by Brandon Jones on a reach, and will do it again.
That is the sixth team foul on Warrensville Heights. For the next one would put Lorain in the penalty.
Dower, Chavis, Whitehead. Titans are having trouble attacking the zone as well. They're passing it around the perimeter but they're not keeping the floor balanced. Whitehead went to reverse it, and there was no one on the far side, but they'll now go to the line 1-1.
And with Lorain up by 9 and now possibly 10 or 11, depending on these free throws, you wonder at some point is Warrensville Heights going to have to come out of that zone. And the thing that would drive me nuts if I'm the Warrensville coach the last couple of possessions is those fouls they're fouling guys that are out in between the circles. They can't hurt you out there.
Right, nobody's trying to attack and they're fouling. Whitehead misses the first, and Warrensville comes off with Jones. Back outside the Little. Jones moving the ball. Johnson comes out to attack from his baseline spot. Save on Chavis had to cover up, but Howard Crum with good position, spinning layup. Dower, Johnson. One-hand pass to Dower, down low to Leaper, who couldn't handle it. It's on the ground, and it'll go on the held ball over to Warrensville. The former coach in me gets frustrated when I see kids throwing one-handed passes when two can work, because you can't fake it when there's one hand on the ball.
There are no style points. But
yeah. There's another one. Warrensville, good ball movement, gets a 3-ball long. Leaper. Ahead to Chavis. One-hand catch. Up, no foul. That's going to be on Crum.
Tell you, Chavis and Dower, they both can go to the basket, and they know what to do when they get the ball down there. They take advantage, and as you've mentioned before, I think they know that they're bigger and stronger, and they take advantage of that physicalness.
Savon's another, for a 15-year-old kid, what an athlete he is and is going to be. I mean, he's not the biggest kid on the floor, but most games he's the strongest, and if he's not, then David Leaper is. Chavis splits the pair. Titans 20-12. As we said, looking for some revenge on their only loss of the season. Down in the corner, Blair, give and go to Little, no. Leaper had a tip on it and off to Whitehead. Whitehead poked away from behind, and Blair comes back. Dower spent a long time trying to get that foul in.
That's just the third team foul on Lorain, and that was even though Little missed the shot, he went to the basket very well that time.
Dalen Dower's second, though, and Warrensville will have it inbounds. A little trigger. Knocked away by Johnson, but 3-ball no. Rebound way outside to Johnson. Johnson ahead to Dower. Dower one hand to Whitehead, back to Chavis. Over generous there.
Yeah, one too many passes.
Nice cut there by Ron Johnson, and a great look by Aaron Whitehead.
But again, I'm not going to be critical when they're unselfish. I mean, you're right. It was one too many passes, but I'd rather see one too many than one too few.
Knocked away again, but Blair has it in the corner and heaves 3, hits nothing. Out of bounds off of Dower.
Right there is an example. They heave a 3 that's an air ball when they had a wide open man underneath the basket.
Timeout Warrensville, or timeout Lorain maybe.
I think it's on Warrensville.
Okay. 22-12, and Rob, it's been an up and down kind of thing, but for the freshmen to be able to share the ball as well as they have has been, the thing that's impressed me the most about the Titans is, just like at the varsity level, it looks like as long as we score, we don't care who gets it. And that's a lot of, what leads to success in a basketball program is.
And usually, I think at the younger levels, you don't see as much unselfishness as we've seen tonight. Normally, that comes later.
Everybody's trying to make a name for themselves right now.
Exactly. And so that's really good to see. And the other thing that impresses me with Lorain so far tonight is defensively. Let's face it, they've only given up 12 points with 2.5 minutes to go in the half. And as I say that, they give up a wide open layup. But
Brandon Jones with a layup off an inbounds play. And
up until that point, they impressed me defensively.
Johnson spins and loses it. Leaper throws it away. Just if there's something, it's right there. They get going faster maybe than they need to or they're able to at this point.
And to Warrensville Heights' credit, they might have drawn that up and in their timeout, came out and got a nice, easy basket.
22-14 Lorain. 2:20 to go first half. Down in the corner and back out to Little. Little against Whitehead. Back in the corner to Jones. Jones, 16-footer, too long. Whitehead with a rebound. He's out with Leeper. Lots of contact. It'll stay with the Titans. You know, Rob, we got to 7 fouls on Warrensville pretty quick. Now it's kind of no blood, no foul.
Yeah, exactly.
Whitehead at the top against the zone gets a screen from Leeper. Back to David Leeper. Ron Johnson. Back to Leeper. Leeper for 3. He can do that.
And the thing that surprises you here that Warrensville has 8 fouls is they played a zone the whole time. Normally, you're not picking up that many fouls when you play a zone defense.
But they've pulled it farther away.
Right.
Johnson steps in, anticipating that one, all the way to the hole, lays it up and in. Ron with 8. 27-14. Titans feeling it now. Knocked away by Dower. Picked up and laid in by Crum. Crum with 5. And it's 27-16. Back quickly. Johnson. Chavis. Near side Dower. Downloaded Leeper. Leeper underhands it up off the board. No. Whitehead got caught reaching in. And his foul will keep it with Warrensville with 1:11 to go in the half. Titans led 13-8 at the end of 1. They've lengthened it to the current 11-point lead. Down in the corner, that's Blair. In and out, Chavis aboard. Wow, big outlet pass, too far for Johnson, but he saves it into Leeper, back to Dower. Wow, good effort. Nobody gave up on the play. Whitehead, Euro step into the lane, no. Back out to Chavis, it was off a toe. Johnson's got it and throws 3 that's short.
You say Euro step, I say traveling.
And then out of bounds off of Blair. It'll stay here. And Coach Clark just kind of wants to settle things down as offensively the Titans look like a little chaotic at that point, and he needs to get him calmed down. He's got an 11-point lead, which, as I say, is much better than the first time these two teams played when Warrensville went out 31-10. And the Titans tied them at 53 and then lost on a final shot.
Well, you can tell that this team, you mentioned maybe trying for some revenge for to avenge their only loss, but whatever you want to call it, the Titans have been focused from the get-go here tonight. Now, if I'm Lorain, unless I get an easy layup on this inbounds, I look at it as I take the last shot because in worst-case scenario, you're up by 11.
And getting the ball coming out.
Yeah.
Warrensville in the 2-3 zone. The Titans will set up. Leeper will inbound. Dower pushes Johnson up. Now gets up. Must have used the wrong end of the floor. Dower with the layup. No, on the lob. Didn't get it. Howard Crum with the rebound, and back comes Blair for Warrensville. Knocked away by Whitehead, out of bounds. Stay with. Well, they got a layup off the inbound look.
Now, if I'm Warrensville, I would be getting that ball to 23 to Crim a little more often than they, because he looks like he can finish.
Inbounds, Little splits a pair, kicks it back out to Gideon, round and out. Whitehead on the dribble with the rebound ahead to Johnson. Ron Johnson double figures with 10.
And 29-16. I think they've all been layups for Johnson.
All the way back, no. Rebound to Chavis with 10 seconds to go. Titans can get another one. Johnson, Dower, Chavis, foul. Nicely done by the Titans.
Yeah, they are running him out of the gym right now.
Howard Crum with his 3rd foul. Savon Chavis back to the line for the 3rd time today. He's got 5 points on 2 of 4 at the line and a 3-pointer. 24-16, 4.4 seconds. So the two biggest Tigers, both with 3 fouls here as we approach the half. Chavis knocks down the first. That's 6 for him. You got 1 to give, Coach. Got 2 to give. 4.4 seconds left. Savon Chavis makes a pair, and back comes Warrensville, poked away from behind, picked up by Dower, and that's how the half's going to end. Dalen Dower throws it the length of the court, and the half is ended. Titans 31, Warrensville 16. We'll be back with second half action after this timeout.
Inspiring city and campus. Inspiring people. Inspiring creativity. Inspiring hands-on learning. Inspiring global experiences. Inspiring traditions. Be a Buckeye. Inspire.
Jay Ferguson, Rob Polinsky, and Joe Bach back here on TV 20. The Freshman Titans with the ball. Aaron Whitehead lead the Warrensville Tigers 31-16 after 2. This is number 3, James Davis. That Whitehead, leaper. Davis throws 3 off of 1 dribble short. Ron Johnson rebounds, and like he's done all night, gets a layup to go. He's got 12 points, and that might have been the hardest one, Rob.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. We say bad shot, but then you remember that they can offensive rebound so well that it helps out.
Warrensville attacking. Little glassing in. Anthony Little with his first 2. Johnson led everybody in the first half with 10 points on 5 baskets. He's since got the first points for Lorain. Ron Johnson, Aaron Whitehead, James Davis outside. Leaper at the foul line, and on the baseline is Savon Chavis. That's Chavis. Brings it back out to Davis. Dower sitting out the quarter. Leaper's going to throw 3. No. Davis got a tip, but it's off to Little for Warrensville. Anthony Little in against Johnson.
I'm interested to see Little shoot these free throws, Jay, because I don't know if you've noticed on his shooting from the field, but he doesn't seem to have a dominant hand.
Yeah, I have noticed that.
And it's very rare, so let's see how he
looks like he's going to shoot him left-handed, based on his foot position, but Little's go to the line for 2 throws. That was an interesting. I was waiting to see what the official was going to call from there, because the ball really got pinned in between the offensive and defensive player. Rob, maybe he should have used the right hand.
Maybe there's a reason he doesn't have a dominant hand from the field. You're right. He shot that lefty and missed it.
And it was never made it above the rim.
It's odd. He dribbles right-handed, but then shoots lefty.
That one long. Rebound to Warrensville. Gordon has it. Now brings it back out. Number 3 is Brandon Jones. Number 15 is Little. In the corner, 23, Howard Crum. Lays it up. No. Tipped out of bounds by 21, Trezell McQueen. And it'll go to the Titans.
See that Duckworth with those 3 fouls did not start the second half. And they have struggled without him on the floor. Sorry about that.
Ron Johnson. Davis. Whack. No call. Back comes Warrensville ahead of the pack. This is Jones. Johnson there to challenge. Just stands there and gets the rebound. Ron Johnson brings it ahead, splits a couple defenders. Stop. Blind pass to Davis. Davis up, in, and fouled.
All right, now Lorain just taking it to this Warrensville freshman team.
35-18. Davis will go to the stripe. Davis with 4 points in the ball game now, a basket in each half, and give him the old-fashioned 3-point play, and the lead is 36-18. Well, if revenge was a factor, it's certainly been a motive worth having. As Elijah Gordon brings it across. Jones on the baseline, swatted by Chavis into the football team.
But again, a couple of times Lorain now has had blocks, and what impresses you is they're not picking up fouls. Because a lot of times kids will foul with the body or whatever, being a little over-aggressive.
Swatting down rather than Titans getting more aggressive with the defense. Down low, Crum, up in. Howard Crum with 7.
Yeah, I think they need to keep getting it to him, Jay. He looks like he knows what he's doing when he gets it down there.
Yes. Whitehead, Leaper, Ron Johnson to the baseline, back out to Leaper. Chavis says why not. Gets the rebound into Leeper. Behind his back to Johnson. I was going to say any time now Lorain's going to get called for everybody in the lane. And instead, Jones gets a foul.
Well, that's a call you rarely see anymore as opposed to what we used to. And it seems like he can be in there for all day. And it's I don't agree with it, but you're right. You think those are 3-second calls, but you just don't see it.
Every time you hear it, it's a surprise. Leeper all the way to the hoop, no. Rebound to McQueen. McQueen to Crum, and back comes Warrensville. All alone is Jones, lays it up, knocks it down. He's got 7. Davis, Johnson, basket, no. Leeper falls out of bounds.
I do think one thing, though, Jay, on that most fans don't realize is once the shot goes up, then you can be in there all day.
Right.
The 3 seconds is before you take a shot, because obviously you take a shot, everybody can go for the offensive rebounds. You can be in there.
Zion Capers 12. Well, you talk to officials now, and their interpretation is every time the ball changes state, they'll start the clock over. Johnson lost it out of bounds, and then there's a technical on Ron Johnson. I think he thought he got fouled on the steal, and
like I say all the time, it doesn't matter what you think. It only matters what the officials think, and you just can't do that.
Well, and I used to tell players, officials don't call fouls. Officials call things that look like fouls. And to that official, it didn't look like one. That is Brandon Jones. First one is good. He'll get 2, and then Warrensville will get the ball.
Well, my point is it's not for, and I'm not picking on him, but it's just the fact that he did get the tee. But I'm just saying it's not Johnson's job,
right,
to decide whether it was a good call or not. You just play basketball.
Let it go. And
now Warrensville makes a couple of free throws, gets the basketball. They might get some momentum here, and I think Coach Clark is going to have a few words for him.
Okay, 36-24 is Warrensville with Gordon holding the ball into the Titan lineup. Number 5 is Caesar Jeter. Underneath, rebound back up and no, and Chavis takes it. Gets it to Leeper, who loses it behind his back and out of bounds. Unforced error there. And what the Titans are missing right now is a point guard. Nobody's taking charge with Whitehead on the bench. In the first half, it was Dower that would take Whitehead's spot. Right now, they're playing a little bit headless, actually. Little, off one hand, and whistle. And that's going to be Jeter's foul as Jones went to the floor. Just clicked feet. Warrensville will inbound on the baseline. Anthony Little triggers in to McQueen. Hand grenades it over to Jones, who goes into the lane. And the third foul of the possession. This one's going to be Leeper.
Yeah, so already 4 team fouls on Lorain, just halfway past the halfway point of the third quarter.
20 seconds ago, they had 1. Once again, Little will inbound near side. And that's McQueen. Dribbles it out, hands it off to Gordon. Back to McQueen. Crum at the foul line. Corner to Little, baseline drive, back to Crum, skip to Jones. Jones for 3, got it. And don't look now, but on a 5-point trip, 36-27, back within 9.
That's why that tee was such a bad play.
And that's 9 in a row for Warrensville. It was 36-18. And another turnover. Little. Back to Jones. Jones all the way, lays it up. No, tip up, yes.
I think Lorain needs a timeout, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. 36. They need to settle down and have a good offensive possession, whatever that takes. Leeper in the backcourt got bailed out on the foul call by Jim Riddell.
Yes, he did, because actually Leeper could have got called for pushing off there, in my opinion.
And Aaron Whitehead returns for the Titans, and this is what the situation called for, was a point guard. Warrensville very definitely man-to-man now. You can see them. The intensity level is picked up. Whitehead, 1-on-5, no, out of control, and Gordon goes the other way. This is Jones. Jones lays it up, no, rebound Chavis. Chavis has it knocked away, picked up by Little. Little gets it ahead to Jones, back to Gordon, back inside, up and in for McQueen, and it's a 5-point game. 13 in a row. Whitehead, Davis, Whitehead for 3. No, Leaper and Jones both had a tip, but it comes off to Warrensville, and back comes Gordon. Gordon checked by Whitehead, gets around him.
I thought that 3 again was really early in that possession for that shot.
They've been playing defense the whole quarter. Missed there by McQueen, and Leaper gets a rebound.
I don't know what Lorain's best play is, but whatever it is, Coach Clark needs to call it right now.
There's a foul as Whitehead was in trouble in the corner. 21 McQueen gets his second. Returning for the Titans, number 23, Clarence Thomas, replacing Caesar Jeter. Well, a lot of their offense in the first half came from Dower and Johnson, and they're both on the bench. I think Dower's sitting the quarter. This poor kid's going to get a foul on top of his bruise. Brandon Jones got sent to the deck blocking on Savon Chavis, and Savon didn't move a muscle. In the middle, Whitehead. Fadeaway 10-footer, no. Leaper. A lot of contact under there, knocked out of bounds. David Leaper with 54 seconds to go will inbound the ball. Chavis to the... Didn't get it off the glass. He got fouled, and Little will have his third. But Chavis will not get the layup, and he'll go to the line for 2.
But a good job by Chavis going strong to the basket. He either makes the basket or you're going to draw a foul there 9 times out of 10. He does that, and now Warrensville Heights is going to be in the bonus. I should say Lorain will be in the bonus for the rest of the game because Warrensville Heights committed their 7th team foul.
Chavis misses the front end, and things just keep going south for the Titans. Second one up, no. Rebound to Crum, 36-31. Titans on a 5-point quarter. McQueen knocked away, and Davis picks it up, gets it to Whitehead. 40 seconds to go. Whitehead weaves up, in, and fouled. Little 23, Howard Crum with his 4th foul. That was a big hoop in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and it ends the drought. They were stuck on 36 for a long, long time.
It was 36-18.
I think the last time they made a basket, you and I were just finishing our lunch.
Yeah. 3-point play, no. Rebound to Crum, and back comes Warrensville with 32 seconds to go. Poked away by Chavis, picked up by McQueen, gets it near side, and then skipped over everyone off the edge of a step and up into the bleachers.
I think the key term there for you, Jay, was skipped over, because he skipped over everybody.
And with, once again, end of quarter situation where a team could have held the ball, unforced error.
I just don't think they look at the clock or realize the situation.
Chavis into Leaper. That pass got knocked away and bumped around, and all the contact and out of bounds to Warrensville. So the Tigers will get it near half court with 22 seconds to go. In to Gordon. Down corner to Little. Little against Leaper. Throws it across. Picked off. And back comes Lorain. Whitehead again. Crosses over. No. Rebound tapped out of bounds. It'll stay with Lorain. I think Aaron had the right side of the rim, but he didn't feel he did. 9 seconds to go, 38-31. Leaper. Pass to Chavis is knocked out of bounds off of Savon.
Boy, we have seen, I think at football you would call it clock management. We've seen some clock management issues here at the end of all these quarters by both teams.
Warrensville rolls it in to save some time. Gordon brings it ahead, sends it through. Chavis spikes it into the second row with 2.3 seconds to go. Now you don't...
Still got plenty of time if you're Warrensville Heights.
Caesar Jeter comes in for David Leeper. Leeper appeared to be shaken up a little bit. Going to visit Tracy Menges, the trainer, at the end of the bench. McQueen will inbound on the sidelines, 2.3. In the corner to Gordon. Gordon lays it up at the buzzer and scores. Elijah Gordon with 4. And we've played 3 at Lorain. Lorain 38. The Freshman Tigers of Warrensville 33. Back with more after this.
Stop texting and driving. If not for you, for me.
Back here at Lorain High, it's the fourth quarter of the freshman contest. Warrensville on the strength of a 17-7 third quarter, back within 5 points of the Titans. Start the quarter, a 3-ball from Warrensville. No, Johnson threw it off of a Tiger and out of play. Ron Johnson, 24. 2 save on Chavis, 0 Aaron Whitehead, 11 Dalen Dower, and number 23 Clarence Thomas. Whitehead with a one-handed whip that got knocked away and out of bounds. It'll be Lorain's ball in front of the bench. Dower and Johnson back on the floor may stabilize things. Lorain looked rudderless. Step back 3 is partially blocked. Ron Johnson gets it and sticks it in. 40-33. In his technical, not only was a 5-point play, but it put him to the bench for the remainder of the quarter.
Right.
And Lorain had problems. Now Dower takes it away. Dalen Dower looks to pass, but got fouled in the act. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
That was the 10th team foul on Warrensville Heights. Double bonus rest of the game. And as you mentioned, Jay, it's a different Lorain team when Dalen Dower's playing. And I assumed he sat out in the third quarter because they want to save some quarters for the JV.
Now they're saying it's 1-1. It's 9. Okay, I saw. So it's not 2. It's 1-1 for Dower. Of course, the first 2 times he was at the line, he made the first. So that would make it moot. First one up, good stroke. And after all that, he's going to get a second. 41-33 now. Lorain led by 15 at the half. 31-16. Scored the first 5 points of the third quarter and then went on a drought and let Warrensville get back within 5. Dower, second one good. Dower with 6, 42-33. The lead is 9. Warrensville had a 13-0 run in the third quarter to get them back. This is McQueen. He's going to throw a 3. No. Rebound tipped away, controlled by Gordon. Gordon with it in the corner. Kind of a hockey-type pass. Johnson got a hand on it. Whitehead back to Johnson, who lays it up and in. Ron Johnson's 8th layup of the game.
I was going to say, when Lorain's playing their best, it's when they get transition, when their defense causes turnovers and they turn their defense into offense.
Up top, knocked away by Whitehead again. Dower has it. Johnson picks it up. Whitehead ahead of the field. Can't get much easier than that. Aaron Whitehead now with 6, and it's 46-33. This looks like the team that played the first half. Fade away there, a foul, and that was DeJour Duckworth, who sat out the entire third quarter.
And I don't think it's a coincidence that Lorain plays better when Dower's on the floor.
Yeah. Well, that's why he's going to play in the JV game, which is why he sat the last quarter. Now for the Titans, number 10, Marquise Smallwood into the ball game, replacing Thomas. Duckworth to the line, picked up had 4 points in the first quarter, picked up 3 fouls, and has been on the bench for the better part of 2 quarters. First shot up and in. And he looks like a key to their team as well, Rob, as he looks, not only has he got some size to him, but he looks like he's got some skill to it.
Yeah,
as well.
I would agree with you. I think Duckworth and Krim are the 2 main players for Warrensville Heights.
I think they're going to set up the press off a make here, but he didn't, and Dowers got it. Dalen pushes 3-on-2. Whitehead into the lane, steps back, passes to Johnson. Johnson tries to go under to Chavis, and Duckworth's got it. Duckworth gets it ahead. Little. One hands over here to Jones. Jones to the hoop. Up and used all the back and didn't go. Rebound is off to Johnson. Johnson and Dower 2-on-1. Dower. McQueen got him. That's his third. Dalen Dower will go back to the line.
Well, it looks like Lorain has answered or weathered the storm, if you will, for Warrensville Heights. Warrensville Heights cut it to 5 at the end of the quarter, and it looks like the Titans have been able to answer here and out by 12.
8-1, the run has been thus far. Dower misses there. Now 4 out of 7 from the line.
And Jay, as long as you've been around the game, coaching and being around here too, doing it, you know how much energy teams use trying to get back into a game. And sometimes, I don't know if it's mental or physical or both, but you see teams get almost there, and then if there's one more run by the team that's ahead, it's over.
And that outlet pass went into the auxiliary gym, and it'll go over to Lorain. That's exactly what happened the first time at Warrensville. As Lorain got down by 20 in the first half, they came back and tied it. There just was nothing left in the tank when they did, and Warrensville was able to.
I think you see that at a lot of different levels of basketball. Really, in sports in general.
In general, yeah. You know, just what the Indians did in the 7th game of the World Series. Down low, fumbled out of bounds off of the hands of Marquise Smallwood.
And I know Lorain likes to run, but I think sometimes you got to know what's going on. And there's 4:50 to go in this ball game. You're up by 12.
Right.
I'm not saying you got to totally take it off, but you need to slow it down a little bit.
Oh, Johnson had part of a block, but laid up and in by Duckworth, and he's got 7. They're a different team with Duckworth on the floor. Now they try to match up a little bit at half court. Whitehead goes around it and got fouled. I think the bump was called because it was either that or call Aaron for being out of bounds, and I have Brandon Jones now for 4 fouls. Whitehead will go to the line. You know, this can be good and it can be bad. You're going to shoot every time the whistle blows. You got to make them, and Whitehead knocks down the first. Leaper in now for Smallwood.
Or you can be like the varsity. When you miss them, it's probably the worst thing that happens for the opponent, because then Lorain gets offensive rebounds off missed free throws.
Knocks down 2.
Coach Clark calls a full timeout here.
Okay, David Leaper returns. He's got his wrist taped. 4:31 to go in the ballgame, 48-36. Lorain, we're going to step away, and we'll be back after this.
Hi, my name is Denary Perkins Hammonds. I'm 17 years old and in 10th grade at Lorain High School. I'm studying graphic design through Lorain High's Career Tech Education program. I started the program this year because I like making things on computers. We've made calendars, movie posters, book covers, and CD covers. I like the creativity component. Our teacher, Mr. Pappas, is showing us how to use Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. These software programs allow me to recreate images and make images of my own design. When you walk into our class, you'll see students showing their creativity on the computers through those programs. Everyone's on task and really focused. Overall, the class is pretty good, and Pappas gives a demonstration of each project. I'm in Graphic Design 1 this year, and next year I'll be taking Graphics 2. I'm excited about it. If you're creative and like to be able to express your ideas without any limits, then this is the program for you. I'm pretty sure that this is what I want to do one day, and it's all thanks to Lorain High's Career Tech Graphic Design program.
Veterans benefits earned through your service in the National Guard or Reserve can offer a range of support.
I wouldn't be here today as a successful woman without the help that I received.
From home loans to job training, go to benefits.va.gov/Guard Reserve to find out more, even how to apply online using eBenefits.
This is one of the best things I ever did in my life.
We were very fortunate to have these benefits, so we definitely ought to use them.
Achieve your next mission. Learn about your VA benefits today.
Back here at Lorain High School, freshman basketball, 4:31 to go in the contest. Lorain 48, Warrensville 36 as the Tigers bring it ahead. 21 is Terrence McQueen trying to get around Dower. Took the bump and Dower got it ahead to Whitehead. Whitehead lays it up and in. Aaron Whitehead now with 8.5, 10 in the game, and the lead's back to 14. All the way to the lane, and Savon Chavis again throws it to his football buddies.
Jay, I've learned a couple things watching the freshmen. One, they can make their layups. Two, they know how to block shots without fouling their opponents.
Savon Chavis may only be 5'11", but he plays a lot bigger. 3 ball from the corner, hits nothing. Whitehead with a rebound, and he one-hands it ahead, too far for Johnson and out of bounds.
And again, there's where they're pushing. They don't need to.
4 minutes to go.
Yeah, you're up by 14. Just slow it down. I know that's not their norm, but you don't need to take chances right now.
Whitehead and Coach Clark agreed that it was his fault. And then Warrensville returns the favor. Little tosses it into the corner.
I love how players always do that. My bad, my bad. Yeah. It's like, well, if you knew it, why'd you do it?
They were just agreeing. So Whitehead will bring it back with 3:53 to go. Waiting for him at half court is Elijah Gordon. Near side, Ron Johnson. They're running their motion look now. Johnson off to Dower. Dower underhands it to Chavis. Back to Dower. Back to Whitehead. Whitehead lays it up. No rebound. Whitehead. I don't know. I'd swear somebody was out of bounds there. But back comes Warrensville. Gordon has it. Gordon's going to throw 3. Nope. Dower. Dalen Dower. That's a baseball pass. Left it for Johnson. No hurry. Throws it underneath to Dower. Dower steps through, gets it to Whitehead. Whitehead underneath the back. Gets knocked to the ground. Out of bounds.
You know, a couple times we've mentioned tonight the unselfishness, the good passing, and it has been, and a lot of no-look passes. But the other thing that impresses me is that it's one thing to do that. It's another thing to catch it. All these kids catch some tough passes from time to time.
All the way to the hoop, and no for Gordon. Chavis, Dower, Whitehead, 15-footer, no. Knocked away, out of bounds. That'll be to Lorain.
And, Jay, for the most part, when they catch the ball, I mean, not always, but for the most part, they're in that triple threat. I mean, they can either shoot, dribble, or pass. And, you know, for the most part, I like how Lorain has run their offense.
Zion Capers into the lineup. Chavis with a set shot from about 8. No. Leaper had it, tossed it behind his back out to Dower, who threw 3. No. Knocked away off of Capers and out of bounds with 2:38 to go. Substitute for Warrensville, Anthony Little in. DeJour Duckworth looks like his afternoon might be finished. Back comes Elijah Gordon. Dower waits for him. The 1-3-1 for the Titans, knocked away by Johnson, stepped out of bounds. Substitution, back comes Blair, replacing Gordon. Down low. Missing a layup and then rebounding it on his behind was Little. Picked up by the Titans. Dower, Johnson. Johnson missed a layup. There's a stop the presses. Blair gets it out ahead to Jones. Blair for 3, blocked. Chavis.
Too much dribbling that time by Brandon Jones. He's got to find a teammate.
Ron Johnson into the lane, lays it off to Dalen Dower, who lays it in.
To me, that's one of the major differences between these teams today. Lorain with the extra pass, they know how to find the open man. Warrensville Heights, not so much.
They just seem to be winging it up there. That time to the hole and fouled is 23, Howard Crum.
To me, Lorain's more of a team, and Warrensville Heights is more individual.
Yeah, very much in the way they have come across today. Ron Johnson with the foul, his 3rd. To the line, Howard Crum. Minute 44 to go. Looks like the Titans are going to come out of here with that revenge victory they were looking for. Up by 16, 52-36. The lefty tosses that one long. I think the Warrensville coach having a little chat with the far official. Missed the second tip up back, swatted by Chavis out of bounds.
Yeah, and I think that official's just about heard enough from the Warrensville freshman coach.
You know, the bad thing about this is to be the JV coach.
You're right, because these two,
the same two guys are going to do it.
The freshman refs ref the JV game. Good point.
Penetration and kick. 3-ball from McQueen, nails it. McQueen with 7 in the half and the game. Chavis, you know, I'll tell you something else I've learned is that Savon Chavis jumps quick and well off of 2 feet. Dower behind the back to Coach Clark, who's not too happy.
No, and he shouldn't be. I mean, there's been a couple of times tonight Lorain has gotten a little too fancy. They don't need to do it. I think Coach McGuire would have said too much French pastry.
Yeah.
If you remember that from his broadcasts in the 70s and 80s. But, yeah, they don't need to do that.
Okay, and that's right back at you as the one-handed pass into the second row, and the Titans will get it with 1:14 to go. This one's had a little bit of everything. We had a big lead. We had a comeback. We had a answering run. Whitehead all the way to the hoop. Misses. Little comes back. Passes it ahead to Crum. Corner. Jones, no. Rebound, McQueen. McQueen in the lane, lays it up and in. McQueen's got 9. Johnson. Leaper. Leaper gets fouled by Little. I've got 4 there with 43 seconds to go. And it's one of those situations where you don't want to call the ticky-tack foul, but when a team behind is fouling, it just makes them foul harder the next time. And I think Johnson was frustrated he didn't get a call at the other end, and then Leaper.
He was, but when he's already got 1 technical, he better not show any frustration.
I think that's what he's hearing now from as he and the official are just talking. Second shot on its way. Leaper splits the pair. He's got 5. And with 43 seconds to go, the Titans by 12. McQueen launches. Dower catches. Gets it off to Chavis. And back to Leaper, and Leaper will bring it ahead.
Jay, technical fouls are like ex-wives. The only thing worse than 1 is 2.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that.
You don't want to get 2. Anybody can have 1.
Yeah. Leaper does a good job, gets it off to Johnson. Chavis skips it back to Whitehead with 12 seconds to go. He's just going to hold.
So Lorain's going to get their revenge, Jay.
53-41. The Titans are going to go out of here 16-1 on the year as they get a revenge victory over the only team to beat them, the Warrensville Heights Tigers. And as the two teams finish up and we'll shake hands, the Titans wind up 53-41 on a 15-8 fourth quarter. Coach Clark with his 201st freshman victory. Good job. And the Titans go to the locker room. Let's just keep it here and we'll wrap things up.
Well, I like the fact, Jay, that Lorain was able to answer that Warrensville run. They didn't really let it get to them. They cut it down to, I believe, 5 was as close as they got.
Right.
And then Lorain was able to push that back out in the fourth quarter when they got Dower back out there. And I thought a pretty good job by Lorain.
Well, Lorain led by 15 at the half, but Warrensville with a big third quarter came back and cut it to 38-33. Got the ball to start the fourth quarter. And the Titans stopped them there and went on an 8-0 run or 8-1 run to lengthen the lead back from 5 to 12, which was what they had needed to do to get back in control of the game. For the Titans on the afternoon, number 5, Caesar Jeter with 2 points. Number 20, David Leaper had 5 points on a 3 and 2 of 4 at the line. James Davis with 5 points on a pair of baskets and 1-1 at the line. Savon Chavis had 7 points, all in the first half on a 3 and 4 out of 8 from the line. And Dalen Dower with 4 in each half for a total of 8. And high for Aaron Whitehead, with 10 points on 2 in the first half, 8 in the second half. And it was his leadership in the fourth quarter that helped us calm the nerves for the Titans and get things back to normal. And high for Lorain and for the game, Ron Johnson with 8 baskets, 16 points to lead the Titans, who are now 16-1 on the year. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, you'll need to go back to the menu and restart to get the JV game. But as you see, the JVs from Warrensville and Lorain are warming up, and we'll be back after this with the start of the Lorain-Warrensville JV contest.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.